Welcome back, guys. It's Eric and Daisy, and in this video, as you can see by the title, we're gonna talk about the first time we met. Not just the first time we met, it's a much longer story than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this video will be, hopefully not crazy long, but it will be quite the story. The story starts in grade 9. So here's how it went. It was second semester of grade 9. So we had science class together, and I remember just one day I walked into science class and I'm looking at the door because obviously I always went to class super early. That's just who I was. And I saw people filing, and then I saw her come in. After I saw her, I was like, cool. Like, I literally, I don't know why, but I just remember, like, she just kind of stuck out of, like, everyone. For no particular reason, I was just like, huh, I don't know her. I've never seen her before. She's really good looking, and, like, I don't know. What did you think of when you first saw me?
Okay, I wish that there was a picture I could show you.
I can show you a picture of myself from grade.
And you were just like slouching there like this, and like when I first saw him, like, okay, I thought you were so adorable and cute, but like you looked like depressed.
Yeah.
Not like depressed, but like really sad in the corner, like
I think just the
don't
way
want to be here.
This is grade 9. This is grade 9. Everyone looks miserable. Moving on. So what happened was, this is where it kind of kicks off. I remember that we had to switch seats, and our teacher kind of read out like, okay, you sit there, you sit there, you sit there. The girl beside me, I knew her. Then behind, Daisy got put. And then the girl beside me who knows me was like, hey Daisy, like, oh my god.
Yeah, we were friends.
So I was like, interesting. The gears started going. I started, like, I was never like this. I would never just randomly talk to somebody, but for some reason I just had confidence that day. I was talking to the girl who I knew, and she was kind of talking to Daisy too, and I very strategically placed myself within their conversation. I just kind of turned around. It was probably like not even slick. I probably turned around and I was like, do you watch The Walking Dead? Just to you, randomly. And I remember her face. She was like,
I didn't do that. I don't do that.
there he is. We were talking a little bit. Whatever. It was just like stupid conversation.
Things kicked off because we were talking and stuff, and he told me that his family's from New Brunswick, and I was like, whoa, we have so much in common.
So I said, I'm from New Brunswick.
And then I was
She's
like,
I was going to move to New Brunswick.
my mom was gonna move to New Brunswick like 2 years prior.
Yeah. I also said, oh, I really love this movie, Stand By Me. I really like that movie.
That is that is my favorite movie.
After that, I went up to our friend, Karina, matchmaker. So what happened was, I was like, Karina, because I'm my best friends with Karina since elementary.
Karina was my best friend.
I didn't know that. I literally didn't know that. So I was like, Karina, like, I talked to this really good looking girl in science class. I said, do you watch The Walking Dead? Like, I'm slick. And she's like, oh my god, are you talking about Daisy? And I'm like,
because I went up to Karina that same day probably. I was like, yeah, like, Karina, there was like this guy talking to me in class.
Weird kid.
This weird kid.
That's what Karina
That's
told me.
what I said. I said this weird kid was talking to me
in class and asked me if I watched The Walking Dead.
She figured it out that it was Eric, and I was like, you know him? And she's like, yeah, he's like my really close friend.
So all this, like, right away, I was like, Karina, set us up. Like, come on. Oh, anyways, so we kept talking in science class, like, all the time. We would just talk about the same type of music we like. We found out that we both liked City and Color. That was like a big thing. I was obsessed with them back then. We were just like getting to know each other, and we were like hitting it off, kind of.
There was like just too many things we had in common. I was like, this is so freaking weird.
And so I was like, okay, something's gotta give. We gotta like hang out, not in science class. It was a science trip, and I was like, this is it. So I'm like, who are you sitting with on the bus? Like, and you're like, nobody. And I'm like, okay, do you want to sit together? I was pretty nervous. I was like, oh god, I don't want to be like, who are you sitting with? And you're like, I'm sitting with my best friend, obviously. So we sat together on the bus, and we talked, and it was great and everything. After the trip went on, at the end of the day, we did a little game. It was like this big game of tag in this big bush maze, but the way it was to make it scientific is there was the herbivores, predators, and then like something else. So I'm like, yes, like I hope me and Daisy are like herbivores or something. Like, guess what? I was there was only one disease, and it was me. They're like, Eric, you're the disease. So I'm walking around just like, oh my god. I was getting pissed. So I was like, fuck, how can I get out of this disease position? I think I went to like the teacher and I was like, I can't like catch anyone. Like, and then somebody was like, I'll be a disease. And I found you and you were like in a bush or something.
I was. I just wanted you to like want to hang out with me because I knew if I hung out with my friends that you'd be like, oh man, like I wanted to hang out with her.
Yeah.
And you'd think about me more. And it worked. And it worked.
We kept talking in science class. I think I gave her a Snapchat. So what happened was we both found out that we were in art class just in different periods, and there was an art trip coming up. She said, who are you going with? I have no one to go with. And I'm like, oh, me neither, let's go. Anyways, so what we did was we went on the art trip, and honestly, like compared to the science trip, it was like so good.
Because literally,
we spent so much time on the bus. We listened to music that we liked. We had like headphones in. Like,
yeah, we went to the Art Gallery of Ontario in Toronto, and it's so nice.
We went up in this balcony like area. I don't even know where we were.
Yeah,
we went to this random area. It was just like we got lost. Like,
but that was so fun because like everyone else was having lunch. We just wanted to hang out together. Like we didn't want to be with everyone.
And then after that, we went to the Eaton Center. I think I had $5.
Yeah,
that my parents gave me.
You know what this guy does? He's like, I got $5. Do you want me to buy you a frappuccino?
Because I thought you were like a white girl, so I'm like, if I buy this white girl a frappuccino, I'm in. So you're like, yeah.
But you only had $5.
Isn't that how much a frappuccino is?
I know, but you should have bought yourself like a sandwich or something.
I wasn't hungry.
But instead he buys me a freaking frappuccino, and I was like...
So I bought her a frappuccino, we shared it a little bit, it was kind of cute. So after the art trip, we just had a newfound like relationship. Like we were closer than before, we were actually like friends. I was like, fuck, like I need to like think of a way to not become friends. Like I want to become more than friends, right? You know what all guys think, we can't do the friend zone. I was like, Karina, like you like this guy, this one guy, she really liked him. I'm like, Karina, this is perfect opportunity. So I'm like, Karina, like let's set this up. There is a place, it's called the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's just a really nice hiking trail. So I'm like, Karina, you should ask the guy that you like to hang out with you because they hung out as friends, and you should ask me and Daisy to come along, and we'll like kind of have a double date, except only me and you know about it. So we went to the punch bowl and we were hiking, and I was like, oh, follow me, I've been here billions of times, like trying to show off. What happened was we went, it was just beautiful. We tried to leave Karina and the guy that she liked alone because I told Daisy like Karina likes him, like let's kind of leave them alone. Really, I was like, let's be alone.
I know, I knew that too.
We went back to Karina's and we played Dance Dance Revolution. We played Mario Kart. Time came to go home, and they dropped me off and they went and dropped him off. Karina and Daisy had a sleepover. The first thing I did was I was like, Karina, make sure Daisy doesn't see your phone. And I'm like, slight break. We had to move the camera. It got a little dark outside. Where was I? Okay, yeah, so I got dropped off. I'm like, Karina, ask Daisy if she likes me. And she said, ask the guy that I like if he likes me. So I asked him. I'm like, do you like Karina by any chance? And he texts back, smiley face, no. So she said no too.
I know, but I have a perfect reason why I said no though. Because I was shy. I didn't want to like express my feelings.
Yeah, we kept talking in science class, and then I was like, that was fun, like with me, you, Karina, and that guy. Like, we should go back, like alone. So, and you're like, yeah. So fast forward to that day. What happened was she got out, she's like, I got $5, like let's go hang out. We went to the punch bowl again. This is where the story really starts. Classic grade 9. I was like, let's play 21 questions.
Oh my God.
So it started off normal. I was like, do you like anyone?
I think I was like, I'm not telling you.
Oh yes, but I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm like, what the heck? And you're like, do you like anyone? I'm like, yes, but I'll tell you. I was gonna ask her out. I was gonna be like, it's you. She's like, oh my gosh, don't tell me, I wanna guess. I'm like, okay, she's gonna guess 5 people and give up. She was like, no, you are not telling me until I guess the right answer.
I knew that it was me, I just didn't want to be confronted because I was so nervous.
And there was times when I was like, just let me tell you, and you're like, no. Like, I'll be mad if you tell me. And eventually we hung out, and I remember I was like, okay, I'm sick of this. So I was like, I'm telling her. So we went on a walk before he got picked up, and we went to like this spot, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell you who it is. Like, I'm sick of this. And you're like, fine. So I'm like, it's
Oh my
you.
god, I was like sweating. I was so nervous.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's you. Like, I like you. You're like, oh, okay, like, I kind of like you too, but like, I don't want to like date or anything because like, you know, I'm just nervous. Well, like,
Stop!
well,
I
wait.
was so nervous.
Yeah. You're for literally like a couple weeks or something. I was just like waiting for her to say we're dating, but she just never did.
Stop.
No, if
What is my hair
we
doing?
eventually had like a really bad falling out where it resulted in not talking to each other for 10 months. And the way it happened, very briefly, was that our friend Karina hung out with this girl who Daisy used to hang out with a lot in elementary school.
I was not mature.
So I would hang out with, and I was not mature in like noticing it. So I would hang out with Karina, and then Karina would invite over the girl, right? And then I would like Snapchat Daisy saying like, hey, I'm just hanging out with Karina, and like,
And this girl.
Daisy would get all mad because like she thinks, she got the idea that I liked her. It's just a series of unfortunate events that resulted in her thinking that I liked this girl. This was shocking to me. Like, this was heartbreaking because I thought we were good. I thought we were solid until tell him.
I was just upset that like you wouldn't like read my mind and be like, I'm sorry that I'm hanging out with this girl and that you think I like her. So like, I'm gonna
I had no
admit
clue.
it was like mostly my fault that this happened.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad.
But
basically what happened was
I didn't react well.
we were at my cousin's cottage and there was like a few of us girls there and I was like telling them what happened and they're like, you know what? Like, just drop him. You don't need him. Like,
And here I was just like, oh,
yeah, and
I'm
I was
lucky.
like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm going to.
So one night I just got a message from her or something. I think it was honestly after we were talking normally, and
It was at a
we were
weird
just-
time because we were like distancing each other.
yeah.
We didn't really hang out that much. You were saying that you wanted to hang out, but I was like in that like weird mood where I was like, no, like I'm kind of fucking pissed off at you.
And she texted me this, and it literally said like, I don't know exactly what it said, but it literally just said like,
This is all because of this girl that you're hanging out with. Like, I'm just telling you right now, like, this is all her fault.
like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. Basically.
And I got mad, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, I should have like listened to like them because they said that like I should try going for someone else. So eventually I was like, okay, I just like, I need to let her go. I was sad, like I was devastated.
I was sad too though, like as much as I didn't want that, I was just, in the moment, I was being super petty.
Yeah. So I was devastated. We did not talk, didn't even like
Make
look
eye contact
at
in
each other in the
hallways.
hallways for 10 months. Honestly, I have to say, for the whole 10 months, I just didn't stop thinking about you. I had this strange hope in the back of my mind. I'm like, she's gonna come back. Like, she's gonna text me. After a while, I got a girlfriend. It was kind of a weird situation. Like, it was kind of just like being lonely and stuff. And you know, we dated for a bit. It was this girlfriend I was dating. We broke up. So honestly, it ended up good with us. And what happened was, it wasn't like long after that, but I was talking to this kid in one of my classes, and I'm like,
Oh my god,
I'm like,
oh my god.
I'm just talking, like I just met him, and how guys do, we talk about girls. Is there anyone in my grade that like you know, kind of like? And he's like, not really, like, what girls have you seen before? And I'm like, I seen one, like, her name's Daisy or whatever. He's like, Daisy? Yo, she's dating my boy. And I'm like,
It wasn't.
dating
It wasn't.
his boy?
So we weren't ever dating. It was nothing serious. Like, we would never ever like hang out. Like, that was like my only experience with a guy before you. Like, but it went on for like 3 months. Like the same amount of time that you were like you had your
Another girl,
girlfriend.
yeah.
And I was like, I freaking miss Eric like so much. So much. Like,
But again, we would walk by each other in the hallways and not even look
yeah.
at each other.
But then I would try to start like making eye contact and just like smiling, just kind of showing that like no hard feelings. Like, there.
But I don't think I ever noticed it.
You never noticed it.
I was on Instagram and I got a follow, and it was from Daisy. And I was like,
I know.
strange. On Vine, she followed me too, and I followed her. And at this point, this is where like our communication started happening. I would revine vines of like City and Color, like the band that we would always talk about when we were talking. The only reason I would post these vines is
I knew.
just because I wanted her to see them. That's it.
I knew.
No
it
other
too.
reason.
Because we would talk about these songs.
And I remember I played like a little like section, a riff of a song, Pile Driver Waltz by Arctic Monkeys. After I posted that, she sang like the lyrics that would go over that. There was one night where my dad was like, hey, do you want to go see Black Sabbath in concert? I'm like, okay, I need to stop thinking that she's gonna text me. I need to just shamelessly do it again, you know? I don't care if she doesn't like me. I need to set the record straight. So, I was like, I'm gonna go to the Black Sabbath concert tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I'm gonna text her. So when I went home, I was like, should I text her now? Nah, I'm gonna text her tomorrow morning. So I kind of put my phone away and I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning and I was going to go text her, but she had texted me over Vine.
But I didn't have your number.
We had no communication, but for some odd reason we both planned to text each other at the exact same night. Like, that was very weird to me.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic because you said, I miss you, we need to talk again.
My mom's calling me. I just want us to be friends. Like, that's it. I don't, like, we don't have to be dating. I just want to be friends with you. Like, I miss you.
I texted her and I'm like, same, like I kind of laid out everything. We were texting for a while just saying like, oh my gosh, this is so weird after so long. Like literally almost a year of not talking. Like at some point during that day, I was
that
like...
same day, like we were texting nonstop for like hours, and then by time like 4, 5 o'clock,
I was like, what, do you want to just like meet up and like...
Today. And I was like, whoa, okay.
I was like hyped. I was like, no, I am not like fucking up this time. Like we're doing this. So I hopped on my bike and I threw against the bed.
But we were meeting at this like bridge.
This big like red
overpass.
bridge. So I saw her on the red bridge and so we kind of walked up to each other and we hugged and it was just really nice and like we just talked for like hours. We walked all the way back to my house.
On the beach.
And at this point it was clear we still liked each other. So what we did is we went back to my house, we hung out, and then I walked her home. And before you left, I was just like, in my head I was like, I just need to do this. So I pulled you in and I just kissed you, and it was really romantic and like.
That was my first kiss ever. Too.
Yeah, her first kiss ever.
Literally a week later.
I was like, why aren't we dating? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, then let's date. And then from that day forward, we've been dating.
Yeah.
4 years. 4 years.
April 19th. That
is how we met. It was quite dramatic.
It makes for a good story, am I right?
Great story. I'm feeling nostalgic now.
Me too.
Alright, that's gonna be the end. See you later.